Hi everybody, it's Craftin Just Because with Cowan, and I am here today to bring you a World Card Making Day project. So I'm using one of the mini paper pumpkin boxes, and I decorated it all up so that there was two purposes. I thought if I wrapped it up like a gift, people could gift this to somebody that they made cards for, and then they can repurpose it and use it for a gift. But what I did is I included 4 of our note cards and envelopes. And we're going to go ahead and make these 4 cards that you can gift to somebody or use as Christmas cards. And what I wanted to show you was that it was using one piece of designer series paper that is 6 by 6, and that's what gave us all the patterns there. And then I went ahead and pre-cut all the we're using the Peace and Joy bundle, but I pre-cut all the layers there and stamped everything so it'd be easy to put together. But what I love about this set is you could stamp right from this set and cut out, or they made, and I hope they make more of these because I absolutely love this, but they made layers of all the items. So each one of these different colors is a different layer of our die cuts. Absolutely love how that turned out. And then I embossed the white note cards using the dots in the Warm Hugs bundle so that it just gave it more texture. So we're going to go ahead and get started. And what we need to do, I'm going to get out all my pieces with you. Here's our 6 by 6 piece of designer series paper that we're going to be playing with. And then this is a scrap to do some layering. And then I went ahead and pre-cut, like I mentioned, all of the words to make it nice and easy for us to put together our project. Then I also have 4 note cards and 4 envelopes here, which we will do embossing on. And then I have all the designer series paper layers to add to our paper pumpkin box. So let's go ahead and get started making our paper pumpkin box. What's nice about our mini paper pumpkin boxes is they come in a set, and I believe there's 10. Yes, there's 10 in a pack. So you get multiple sets of them. We only need 1. There we go. And what's really nice about them is one side's glossy and one side is paper. And I like to put the glossy side in case somebody wanted to do cookies or some kind of baked good. I would still add some wax paper, but this way it doesn't ruin the outside of your box. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to layer this on up. Now, if you're new to watching my channel, in my blog post below, I did go ahead and add all the measurements there. I'm not going to read those off to you one at a time here just because, or actually I can. I was going to say I don't have the scrap of paper, but I do. So I cut one piece that is, let's see here, 1 3/4 by 5.5. And I'm just going to add that to the front of my box, which this is my front. And it's a little short because we are going to add, now this is where I did measurements a little funny. I didn't know if you wanted to a thicker piece, you could cut this down, or just a tiny bit showing like here on my box. I only have a tiny bit showing. But I'm going to go with, I'm just going to turn it over so I know where to go, how much to put on there. And I'm going to put a thin strip of glue down, and then this is how I do mine. So I know exactly how to do it, and I want to add it to the back of the color that I'm using. I went ahead and put that down straight, and then I'm putting that down where the gap is all the way around the box so that it's nice and even. Then I'm going to flip that over, and I'm going to adhere this to the box. Now, I know I wasted a little bit of cardstock there, but like I said, I did that in, you know, just to show you, you could do different sizes. And then I know I covered this up, but that's okay. Again, I'm showing you layering, and you could choose not to put that extra little piece there. That's completely up to you. And what I did is I went with our Organdy Real Red ribbon, and I just tied it around it before I put it down and tied a bow. Our ribbons, I will say, are so incredibly awesome. They tie so well, and I love that they match all of our paper. So I never have to worry about picking a ribbon that maybe is a little different color that wouldn't not match my cardstock or designer series papers that I'm using. But I was just trying to show you the simplicity of using this bundle for World Card Making Day. Then I'm going to trim off my ends. And it looks like I kind of got this a little looser than my first one, but that's okay, because when I pull it back, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a piece of tape on the back here. See if I can get it nice and tight, just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue this down. And you could use any adhesive you want. The Stampin' Seal Plus would probably be a good one to use, just because it is a hardier, I don't even know if that's the right word. You know, it'll make your project, you know, it's a thicker adhesive, stronger adhesive. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, next I'm going to add my strips, which these are 7/8 by 5.5 inch. And I'm going to add them right onto the box. And then this is the middle section right here on the back. And then I'm going to add the gingham pieces right here. And then we'll make our box. Kind of stumbling on my words today. I will be showing you how to emboss with our cut and emboss machine. Okay, so what I like to do is then I like to fold it all up. Okay, so we're going to fold in our tabs here and over here. And get those in its place. You heard it snap together. That's the sound you want to hear. There we go. Okay, so now we're ready. Oh, I forgot to add my sentiment here. So I'm going to go ahead and add Joy onto the front. And then what I did is I cut out the tiny words that are on the stamp set out of Real Red. Let's see here. Oops. And then I'm just going to adhere that down onto the Pear Pizzazz color. Just like that. Okay, so now I'm going to set that aside. Now what we want to do is we want to cut our designer series paper so we can make our cards, and then we will get it embossed as well. So we're going to bring in our Stampin' Trimmer, and we are going to cut our designer series paper. We're going to cut a piece off that is 1 3/4. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this in, and then by 5. So I'm gonna make sure I cut it by 5, and then this piece will be extra, okay? And then you're going to want to cut a piece that's 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. And then we're going to cut it in half diagonally. And then you're going to need these 2 pieces. And then you're going to cut a piece that is 2 by 3 1/2. So 2 by 3 1/2. So these are your extra pieces. Now you could use these on a project if you wanted to. I'm not going to for today, but I wanted to show you that you can get quite a bit of cards out of one piece of cards, or out of one 6 by 6 sheet of cardstock or designer series paper. Okay, so now I'm bringing in my cut and emboss machine. To emboss, we want, this is just our regular embossing template. So we just need our 1 plate, our 3 plate, and then what we're going to do is we're going to bring in our card. Okay, where did I put, oh, here's my embossing folder. Put that right down into the center, and I'm going to put the closed end into my machine, and then put my 3rd plate on top of that. And I'm just embossing it through. And we're going to do this on every card. Okay, and there's your embossed image. So let's go ahead and do that on the other 3 cards. Make sure that my closed end is going in towards the machine. Okay, we have 2 more to go. And then I'm going to show you a trick, what I did for my envelopes. But I thought this was a nice way to gift somebody some cards, and then a gift box if they wanted to use it as a gift box when they're done with the cards for World Card Making Day. Okay, last card. So it's just my 1 plate and then my 2 3 plates that are doing all the embossing. And for some reason, this machine handles and embosses so perfectly, it's crazy. Okay, now we're going to take our envelopes, and I'm just going to do the flap of each of the envelopes. So I'm just putting my flap in and doing the same thing, running it through my machine. And look at how beautiful this looks. Okay, so let's do the other 3. Okay, we have one last one to go. Whoops, I did that one backwards. Left the bumps on the inside. Okay, and then we're done with our embossing machine. Okay, so now let's get this out of the way. Fold this back up. And I did realize I forgot to cut a couple things. So I'm going to go ahead and cut some 1/2-inch strips. I need 4 because we have 4 note cards. Okay. So now let's go ahead and assemble on up our cards. So we're going to bring in a card front, and then we're going to bring in one of our designer series paper pieces. And what I did is I did the same thing I did on the box. I just put a thin strip of adhesive down, lined that up just to give it a different color effect, and I trimmed off the piece that we don't need, and then I'm going to just adhere it to my card base. The only one that gets tricky, and I'm going to show you how to do it, is when you're on your diagonal pieces. And then I'm going to add bright. Right on down. And just so you notice, on this, I didn't use the eye or the dot that it punched out with. I used a rhinestone. Okay. So I'm going to put bright. Let's see here. Merry Christmas and a, hold on, bright. I'm totally stumped on what I put. Yeah, Merry, that's what I did. Merry and Bright Christmas. So I'm just going to add this, Merry, and then add the and. And then the Christmas. And I like just layered them down. No rhyme or reason to it. Okay, so there's my first card. Then I'm going to go ahead and let's do one going this way. So I bring in my card front. I bring in one of my diagonal pieces. And I'm going to do the same thing on this one. I'm going to put a thin layer of glue. I'm going to bring in one of my strips. Just like this. Oops, did I move this one a little bit? I did. Just like that. And then I'm going to cut it off and cut it off. Okay, and then I'm just going to add this. Did I do one end? Looks a little longer. Let's do it that way. I might have gotten it a little off kilter when I was off camera, so I'm going to put it down here at the bottom. Then I'm going to add my joy. Where's my joy to the world? Let's set that aside because I might need to re-stamp that out. Okay, we're going to do another diagonal one here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to flip it over, put down my strip. It might be easier if I do it down on the paper. Just like that. And then I'm just going to cut straight across. that. The only thing you have to be careful of when you're adhering onto the dry embossed piece of paper is you want to make sure that the cardstock is glued down, because there is some 3-dimension there. You just got to hold it down for just a second and it works just fine. And then we have peace on earth. And then we have one last one to do. Where is it? Oh, right here. We're going to glue this down. Same thing. I made them all similar so that there wasn't much thought, you know, like as far as having to prepare it. And if everything is pre-cut out, you can make a bunch of cards at one time, which is like the beauty of this kind of card, because who doesn't have tons of Christmas cards to send out? Okay, so I'm going to do this one just a little different. I'm going to do bright. And then this, hopefully you'll be able to see it, is going to go onto the designer series paper. Okay, so there's our cards. Now we're going to do one last thing. I'm going to bring in my Pear Pizzazz and my Real Red cardstock, and I want to stamp my envelopes really quick. Just because I like to stamp my envelopes, I think it adds a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and do the holly leaves with the Pear Pizzazz. And then we'll do the holly berries with the Real Red. Let me wipe that off really quick. And then our holly berries. And the World Card Making Day is so fun to do. So you could get together with a bunch of friends and get a bunch of cards made all at one time. So I hope this gives you some ideas of some quick and easy cards to use. And you can use, remember, this does not have to be with this stamp set. I chose this stamp set to highlight it and show you guys, but it doesn't have to be the stamp set that you use. You can use any designer series paper, and then, you know, any coordinating colors. And then I just layer my cards and envelopes just like this. And like I said, look, you've got a gift that's nice and ready to gift to somebody. Uh-oh, one of them didn't end up with an envelope. Let's see here. Oh. Let's see how many cards I have here. 1, 2, 3, and then here's the 4th one. So there's your 2 gifts. Quick and easy, nice and fun to make. I appreciate you guys joining me today. I know it's one day early from card making, but I wanted to make sure that you had a fun project to keep you going on World Card Making Day. Until next time, my creative peeps, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.